Hey all, Tony Bing here, hello and welcome back to another in-depth review for Marvel Strike Force. Now this particular review will be for Mordo, and this is actually version 1.1 of this particular review because there was one or two things that I did unfortunately miss on the initial launch, and it has been kind of bugging me since then that I did miss them, and also the fact I think I got a little bit carried away when it comes to his rating because I was really enjoying him on the first day, but since levelling him up and having a bit more time on him, he's still very good. But he does have one or two more downsides than I originally noticed. So in the video we will start off with a general overview of him, we'll then check out his stats, next up is the abilities, we then have the synergies, and then we see where he places in the tier list as well. So let's start off with the general overview. Mordo then is a controller class, and he's all about putting down debuffs on the enemy team and shutting them down. Now if we look at his tags, he's got some pretty good ones here. You've got Villain, Cosmic, Mystic, Controller and also Martial Artist. Now the Villain, Cosmic and Mystic ones are really pretty good because it means it can help you out in those campaigns, and some of them can be pretty difficult at times. Now in regards to unlocking him, at the moment he's only been available via 2 packs within the store, and they were actually pretty decent packs. I did buy one of them myself and also via the top 500 in Blitz, but we do know from the developers that characters will start off in the Blitz and then they'll move to Ultimus Orbs, then Premium Orbs, and eventually they'll be accessible via the likes of Story Mode as well. So we will be able to get them levelled up, but it may take a bit of time. Now next up, let's have a look at his stats. When we look at Mordo's stats, his damage rating is on the lower side, but that's because he's not there to put out damage, he's there to lock down enemies, so that's way down at E. His speed is B, so that's really nice for getting his debuffs off nice and early. His focus just scrapes in at a B, he's almost fallen into a C rating there. Now B is certainly an acceptable stat for a controller, but because it is a little bit on the lower side of B, one thing you have to be wary of is make sure the target you're attacking and applying the debuff on doesn't have too high resistance, otherwise you may struggle to get it to apply. Now next up, we'll have a quick look at his defensive stats. When we look at his defensive stats, these are a bit on the lower side, but he's got a part of his kit which is incredible. Now if we look at the actual stats though, his health is D, so on the lower side, armour is C, very mid-range, and then resistance is E, so he's more susceptible to debuffs himself. Now what he does have, and this is the part that's incredible, is he has the ability to heal himself on any character defeat. Now when I say any character defeat, that would mean members in your team, it would mean members in another team, and it's regardless who defeats them as well. It really is incredible, and we'll actually look at that in a lot more detail next when we check out the abilities. For the abilities then, we have 4 in total to look at. It's the basic, special, ultimate and also the passive. Now I'll show off the tooltip for this maxed out, so it's level 7 for active skills and level 5 for passives, and this information is available via msf.gg. Now the first one we look at, this is his passive, which is Too Many Sorcerers, and this is incredible and possibly one of my favourite passives in the game. So with this, on death of any character, and I stress the any part, you heal self for 10% of this character's max health, and also on death of a mystic character, you heal self for 15% of this character's max health and gain 1 to 2 ability energy, which is really incredible. So what this means then is if you run a team that's got lots of mystic characters in it, or if you go up against a team that has lots of mystic characters, then you will continually be gaining energy on them, which means you can spam all the upcoming skills, and upcoming skills are pretty awesome as well. One character I'll mention in this passive can work very well with would be Loki, because he has a mystic tag and he's actually going to be a summoner as well, so he'll summon in his illusions which will be tagged as mystics, and it doesn't matter if they're on your side or the enemy's side. If they're defeated, you'll be looking at getting extra health back and also energy as well, so it's a fantastic combination there. Now this particular passive, you want to max this out. When we look at his basic, this is really pretty awesome as well. This is called Arcane Scourge. So with this, you attack the primary target for 220% damage and apply 1 to 2 random negative effects. Now I've tested this multiple times and the negative effects that it provides would be offense down, defense down, or slow. It's not providing bleed at all there. Now, defense down is a debuff that not many characters have, and it is very powerful if you pair it with offense up, so this is really a great skill. Now, in regards to how high you want to take it, at level 5 you will do 180% damage and you'll retain the 1 to 2 random negative effects, so you can get away with leaving this particular skill at level 5, but personally, because I am enjoying Mordo so much, I think I will max this one out. The next skill we look at here is called Mesmerise. Now it's 4 turns to charge and comes fully charged, and this skill can actually turn a battle one way or another, but there is a large element of randomness to it, and that's the reason I'm actually redoing this video. So with this you apply stun to primary target and a 50% chance to apply blind to 3 additional targets, as well as a 50% chance to apply slow to 2 targets. Now if it works, it's absolutely incredible, but you do have the additional effects on it with a 1 in 2 chance. You're essentially flipping a coin as to whether the match will be nice and easy, or you may struggle a little bit in it because there's no damage on it, you'll notice with this particular skill. Now, in regards to how high you want to take it out, at level 7 that gives you the 100% chance to stun the primary target, which is really nice. At level 6 you have a 50% chance to stun, and if it doesn't stun it will blind them instead, so that's really nice as well. So personally you can get away with having this at level 6 or level 7. For the ultimate we have what is arguably Mordo's weakest skill, and it really does speak volumes of how good he is that a skill such as this is classed as one of his weak skills. There's many other heroes that would kill for a skill as good as this. This is called Demons of Denak. It's 5 turns to charge and comes fully charged, although you generally won't use this on the first turn. I would normally use this special first. Now what this does is attack all targets for 240% damage, which is a decent amount, and you apply heal block for 2 turns, and also this attack cannot miss. So that means if you're blinded you still hit, but the enemies can evade it and dodge it. In regards to how high you want to take this particular skill, at level 5 you get the heal block for 2 turns, which can completely shut down Night Nurse, and also if you're running raids and you're up against the infamous shield team, which can be really difficult with the shield operatives, then it can shut them down as well. So at a minimum do take this up to level 5, but if you want to push out a bit more damage then by all means max this out. Now next up what we'll do is we'll have a look at his synergies. When we look at characters that Mordo would work well with, firstly you've got mystic characters. Now that can be in the opposite team or actually in your own team, because whenever they're defeated you will be getting that extra 15% health, which can really help out your survivability a ton. Now next up you have summon characters, so you've got Nobu, Kingpin and Yondu. The reason they're good is summons can be squishy when they're defeated, they're giving you 10% extra health. Also, although he's not out in the game yet, we can see his kit via msf.gg. Loki should be fantastic with him because Loki's a mystic character, meaning his minions should be tagged as mystic as well, and that would mean when they're defeated you'll be feeding Mordo with energy. I really can't wait to try that combination out. Now finally you then have Drax. He can be good because at the start of a fight, until Mordo gets going with enemies being defeated and his health being topped up, he can be a bit vulnerable, and Drax can help resolve that particular issue. Now next up we'll look at the characters you want to avoid. When we look at characters you want to avoid, firstly you would have characters that are able to neutralise or even completely turn around these debuffs. So that would be Jessica Jones. She can cleanse her entire team, and then you've also got Scientist Supreme. What she can do is she can flip debuffs into buffs. That could be really dangerous there, and that could be a good counter if you do come up against a Mordo. We then have characters that would potentially be able to take him out very early on in the game due to the high attack speed, and they're able to attack before he's able to fire off his base. He can potentially put a fence down on them, so that would include Gamora, Daredevil, Korath once again, a name that does crop up very often. Now finally you actually have Deadpool as well. The reason being, on his special he can ignore taunts, so if some damage is done on Mordo at the start of a fight and then you taunt up afterwards, Deadpool can ignore that and take him out, so do keep an eye out for him. Now next up we'll have a look at the tier list. In regards to Mordo's tier list rating, this has changed slightly from the last video with the additional playtime I've had. Now despite this change, I will just say straight away that I still believe he's an absolutely great character and I have a ton of fun playing him. Now if we look at his pros and cons, firstly you've got his positives. You've got his high speed, you've got that stun or blind on the first turn, which can be fantastic, especially the stun when you upgrade it, because let's say you're going up against a team that has a tank such as Kingpin that puts the defense up and offense up. If you can delay that for one turn, then it can really mess up the opposite team. Now you've got the fact that he's very helpful in story mode and raids as well, because he can lock down the healing of any enemies you come up against. You've then got the fact that his basic can apply defense down, and not many characters are able to do that. If you pair up defense down along with offense up, you can do a heap of damage, in some instances one-shot enemies, and then you've got that amazing passive as well. Finally, you have the combination of pairing him up with Loki that I mentioned earlier on. Now, since actually mentioning that in this video, I went in and I figured out how to test it, and the summons that Loki brings in when defeated do give you ability energy, so they can help get your special and ultimate back up nice and quick. Now, when we look at his downsides, you've got his low resistance, so he can be susceptible to stuns and slow, but the biggest downside is just the element of randomness with him, because sometimes you take him into a match and he can completely turn the tide on the first move with the stuns and the blinds and the slows, but on other occasions enemies may evade it or may resist it, and it can give you a lot of trouble. Now, because of the fantastic combination he does have with Loki, this is a bit similar to Rocket Raccoon, where his synergies with Groot are actually so strong that it pulled him up a tier. I would say the same would apply to Mordo. Now, without this pair up, when I do look at the randomness, which does affect a huge part of his kit, and it's something I did overlook to an extent when I initially rated him, he'd potentially be a high tier 3 hero, but with the team up combination of Loki, and Loki has been confirmed to come to the game soon along with Star-Lord and Groot, I would say that pulls him up to the alpha rating there, because although you've got that element of randomness still on his special, you're going to be charging up a lot quicker with Loki's summons coming in and getting defeated and giving you ability energy. So as always, I hope this particular video has been useful. If there's any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll see you all again soon.